Good morning. This is a recording for Tuesday, April 23rd. Before we start talking about the third element of shame resilience, which is reaching out, let's summarize what we have learned so far about the second element, practicing critical awareness. Today, we will continue doing self-reflection practice. So if you want to answer the questions I'll be posing in writing, be sure to have your journal handy. But of course, as usual, you can do everything in your mind if you prefer. Totally your choice. And remember, whatever you choose to do now is enough for now. It's totally fine. So what we have learned about the second element, practicing critical awareness, is this. There is an important distinction between just awareness and critical awareness. Critical awareness, that is also known as critical consciousness or critical perspective, means knowing why something exists, how it works, how a society is impacted by it, and who benefits from it. Whereas just awareness is simply knowing that something exists. Many of us have the same shame triggers and experience very similar reactions. However, due to the isolating and secretive nature of shame, we feel like it is only happening to us and that we must hide it at all costs. This, in turn, leads us to believe that shame is a personal problem. It is not. Shame happens between people. It is a psychosocial, cultural construct. Shame functions as a zoom lens, isolating individuals, but critical awareness allows a wider perspective. Reality checking our shame triggers against social community expectations is a very useful exercise because it reveals that we all struggle with similar issues, which in turn promotes normalcy. Practicing critical awareness helps us create connections between our personal experiences and broader social systems. When we create these connections, we basically develop strategies that move us toward shame resilience. On the other hand, if we fail to create these connections, we actually create barriers on our way to shame resilience. Brené Brown talks about 3 pairs of shame resilience strategy versus common roadblocks. The first pair is contextualizing, which is basically saying, I see the big picture, versus individualizing, I am the only one experiencing this. The second pair is normalizing, I am not the only one experiencing this, versus pathologizing, something is wrong with me. And the third pair is demystifying, saying I'll share what I know with others, versus reinforcing, I should be ashamed. And now let's do the self-reflection practice I promised. I will pose some questions and give you a few moments to reflect on them in the context of your own life. As I mentioned before, you can do this exercise in your mind or write your answers down in your journal. Whatever you prefer is perfect and enough. As always, take a comfortable position and take a few moments to settle. Settle into your body, your heart, your mind. Settle into this moment, right here, right now. Your breath nice and soft, completely natural. Just see if you can find a sense of spaciousness, a sense of freedom in your breathing. so that all the experiences of the present moment can flow through you as energy that they are, without struggle. Now let me pose a few questions for your self-reflection. I'll pause after each, giving you some time to ponder. Remember, as you reflect on these questions, whether it's in your mind or on paper, be sure to keep part of your attention gently scanning and re-scanning your body, and notice how this exercise affects your physical and emotional being. Question number 1. How do societal expectations impact my personal struggles? How do societal expectations impact my personal struggles? Question number 2. Is it useful for me to reality check my shame triggers against the social community expectations? Why if yes? Why if no? Is it useful for me to reality check my shame triggers against the social community expectations? Why yes or why no? Question number 3. Do I tend to individualize my experiences when I am in the throes of shame? Is it easy or challenging for me to zoom out and get a bit more of the context, a bit more of the perspective? Do I tend to individualize my experiences when I am in the throes of shame? Is it easy or challenging for me to zoom out and get a bit more of the context? Question number 4. Do I tend to pathologize my shame experiences? How can I start normalizing them instead? Do I tend to pathologize my shame experiences? How can I start normalizing them instead? And question number 5, the last question. Do I usually feel excited or reluctant when it comes to sharing my knowledge with other people? When I am reluctant to share my knowledge, how do I benefit from keeping it a secret? Do I usually feel excited or reluctant when it comes to sharing my knowledge with other people? When I am reluctant to share my knowledge, how do I benefit from keeping it a secret? Now place your hands on your heart and send the energy of loving kindness to yourself with gratitude for being here, for doing this challenging exercise. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well in body and mind. May I feel loved, cared for, at ease. May I know I am enough. May I know I am never alone. May I touch deep, natural peace. And as you gently let go of your practice, scan your body and notice what's going on for you right now, physically, emotionally, mentally. How are you really? As you go through your day today, I invite you to continue with these self-reflection questions. I've already also posted the same questions plus one journaling exercise in our private group, Mindful Mornings Private Circle. As always, enjoy your discoveries. And if you're inspired to share your musings, you're welcome to do it in the comments here or in our private group. Remember, your voice is important. Your stories are important. The more we normalize our fears around shame, our experiences of shame, our shame triggers, the easier it is to remember that we are not alone and that we are enough just the way we are. Thank you so much for being here today. Tomorrow is Wednesday, Lorna's breathing practice. So I will see you on Thursday.